It's time to get your morning started with the news you need to know.
News update.
This is what's trending with DJ and PK. Hashtag BYU.
If I'm being honest, I just wanted to be here long. That's what it's all about. I've had amazing mentors along the way, including LaVelle Edwards and Kyle Whittingham, who like sticking where they're at. I appreciate all their examples to me, and so this is a place that I want to be for the long run. Luckily, I grew up cheering for this team, and I played here too, so it helps to play for the legend LaVelle Edwards.
Kalani Sitake is staying, PK. How about that? He wants to be here.
He wants to be here under different terms.
And he largely got his terms. I mean, I've gotten everything, but
I
got a lot.
think that you had to really listen to what he said. He said, I'm a competitor. I didn't want to leave, but I'm a competitor. Meaning he had to check out that option, and that lit a fire under BYU's administration. Now, I talked to Brian Santiago afterward, and I said, well, come on, man. This is, you say you want him here for a long time, and this is the guy, blah, blah, blah. But yet you didn't put together the package until he had leverage. And Brian said, no, we've been working on this for 6 weeks. And that's good, because there's a bunch of stuff that has bothered the BYU coaches, and to the point where they complain about they can't practice in the indoor facility when they want. They have to share it with intramurals sometimes. And
ouch.
Yeah, and that's literally what was said to me. And so with that in mind, Kalani was serious about it, as he should have been, even if he was bluffing serious, because it needed to be done. The phrase I heard was, we're tired of operating on a shoestring budget, those types of things. And I think what's really cool is that you hear when a job is open, doesn't matter what the job is, it can be any job, literally, you always hear, well, get the best person for the job. Well, BYU has the best person for the job. With what the requirements are ecclesiastically and all the other things that go into it, they literally have the best person for the job. And that is really cool for BYU and what they're trying to accomplish.
11-2 and 11-1 speaks for itself. But leverage doesn't hurt when you're trying to get a little more. And the thing is that they're operating on a shoestring budget. Okay, well, was it 3.5 years ago, whatever it was, the press conference with Tom Holman when Tom said we made changes, unprecedented.
Well, at the time it was.
Yeah, I know, at the time. But, man, the industry's constantly evolving, and so now an additional $10 to $15 million in NIL money. Man, you need to keep up with the Joneses, or in this case, trying to keep up with the Red Raiders.
Guy reported.
Yeah.
But we'll see if that.
See if that's true.
Yeah.
Kalani in the $9 to $9.5 million range. You buying that?
Salary, is that what you're talking about?
I mean, you always have bonuses. You never know the exact number. They got.
Well, you can if it's a public job.
Yeah.
But for him.
Right. But in all the public ones we've seen, there's half dozen bonuses that are pretty common.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
GPA.
Kyle got like $650,000 for going to the Rose Bowl.
Yeah. GPA.
The GPA is the stupidest thing I ever heard of.
Graduation
You do the
rate.
work, I get the money. Ready, break.
Well, yeah. Put in on that list of stupid bonuses, bonuses for being bowl eligible. Oh, come on. You're getting 6, 7, 8, 9 million.
But that's just one thing to pad the stats. I mean, that's not as dumb as the kid does the work and
you get the money.
Yeah, sure, whatever. I'm not really concerned about the salary as far as that goes. Whatever Kalani feels is good and they feel is good is fine. If it's 8,
it's all a phenomenal amount of money.
Yeah, it's about funding the program. That's more important.
And in the midst of all of this, the college football playoff rankings come out, and you'll be surprised to learn that BYU didn't move. They stayed right at number 11 after beating UCF by 20.
I'm confident that the College Football Playoff Committee will do what's right.
Thank you, Commissioner. I don't know why you would have that confidence, but politically, I guess for one reason or another, you thought you had to say that because I don't think you believe it. But
I believe it.
DJ and PK.
Hashtag college football.
Cal targeting Oregon defensive coordinator Tosh Lupoi to become the new head coach of the Golden Bears. He's a Cal alumnus, and he spent the last 4 seasons working with the Ducks as their defensive coordinator. New Michigan State coach Pat Fitzgerald will make $5 million with a $500,000 raise each season in the 5-year deal he signed in East Lansing.
That's a nice cost of living raise.
He also gets a year added to the deal should they win 7 games. Win bonuses are $500,000 if they win 6 games, $1 million for 7, 1.5 with 8+ wins.
10 wins, a statue.
Recruiting starts today. Prospects for the class of 2026. Today's the first day of the early signing period. Today, tomorrow, and Friday. So you got a little 3-day window here for kids to decide where they want to go until they find out they've changed their mind.
Well,
and they
you
want to
can
transfer.
commit any time. Yeah. It's just you can
now
sign
you can sign
anytime.
now.
But this is you can sign on Monday, but this is the time that's supposedly a binding agreement to have to give you a scholarship and all that.
DJ and PK.
Hashtag NFL.
Steelers coach Mike Tomlin says he's heard the boos from the team's fans amidst their recent run of 5 losses in 7 games. And he said, quote, "In general, I agree with them. From this perspective, football is our game. We're in a sport entertainment business. And so if you root for the Steelers, entertaining them is winning. So when you're not winning, it's not entertaining."
Okay.
The Steelers, we just heard from quarterback Aaron Rodgers about receivers not running right routes and all of that. They have just claimed veteran wide receiver Adam Thielen on waivers while cutting veteran defensive back Darius Slay to make room on their roster. So Minnesota let Thielen go to let him latch on with a playoff hopeful, and the Steelers are tied with the Ravens 2 games in front of the Bengals. Somebody's going to have to win the NFC North. DJ and PK.
Hashtag NBA.
The LA Clippers sent veteran guard Chris Paul home abruptly overnight and will look to move him elsewhere. Reasons are not clear currently why they're cutting ties. Clippers are off to a miserable 5-16 start. Paul is in season number 21. He's set to retire at the end of the year. A little odd right there. Golden State Warriors star Steph Curry will not join the team on their upcoming 3-game road trip. He's still dealing with the effects of a quad injury he suffered against the Houston Rockets. An older team breaking down physically in the middle of an NBA season. How surprised are you, PK?
Yeah, the only thing I would argue with that, we're not in the middle.
Okay. 22nd game win against the Warriors. They got beat at home by the Thunder last night, 124-112. Spurs have been missing guys here through the first 20 games, but they made it through 20 games, 14-6. They beat the Memphis Grizzlies last night, 126-119.
Yeah, they're back.
The Spurs, the real deal now. Done with the whole rebuild.
Yeah.
You got big name guys coming and going. A combination of your 3 high draft picks have all missed some games here, sometimes at the same time.
It is a build, but it's not a rebuild.
Yeah. Wizards keep losing. Rock solid 3-17 through 20 games. They got beat by the Sixers last night, 121-102. Maybe they'll get one of these young players. Will A.J. DeBonsa end up with the Wizards? How will the lottery work? They're clearly going to be right in the middle of it.
Don't even mention it.
Zion Williamson will miss at least 3 weeks with a right hip abductor strain. The oft-injured star will be on the bench once again. He's already missed 11 games this year, so now he's out 3 more weeks.
Yeah, I can't believe it.
I think he can. Danilo Gallinari announced his retirement from basketball. 16 years in the NBA, played 14 years, missed 2 seasons with ACL tears. He's 37 years old now, and he's hanging it up. DJ and PK.
Hashtag college basketball.
Utah goes to Cal. Close game late. They're down a couple points. But those last 2 or 3 minutes go against them. Cal makes free throws down the stretch. They win 79-72. Dai Ames led Cal with 25 points in their victory. 9th-ranked BYU takes on Cal Baptist tonight at the Delta Center. Tip-off at 7 o'clock on ESPN+.
Well, we would normally call that the Mormons against the Baptists, but BYU have any Mormons on the team anymore?
How many Baptists does Cal Baptist have?
Every one of them.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I talked to them personally.
I
said, are you a Baptist? Are you a Baptist? Are you a Baptist?
Cal Baptist will be hanging out here and playing Utah on the weekend. So, elsewhere, Weber State's hosting Oral Roberts tonight. You have to Texas Santa Clara. UVU's at San Diego State. Check those games out on ESPN+. DJ and PK.
Hashtag Major League Baseball.
Cleveland Guardians pitchers, Emmanuel, is it Clase?
Yeah.
Clase and Luis Ortiz are facing a May 2026 trial on federal charges that they took bribes to help gamblers bet on their pitches. Expecting a trial that's a couple weeks long coming up with those guys. You got sources, PK, saying the Blue Jays are adding Cody Ponce on a 3-year, $30 million deal. He revived his career going over and pitching in Korea and being great. So, the Blue Jays loading up.
Well, there's been guys that have gone over there and come back, American guys I'm speaking of, and have done well. So, yeah, it's extremely possible.
Hall of Fame players Ferguson Jenkins, Jim Cott, Juan Marichal, Tony Perez, Ozzie Smith, Alan Trammell, and Robin Yount are among 16 members of the Contemporary Era Committee that will consider an 8-man Hall of Fame ballot that includes Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, Don Mattingly, and Dale Murphy.
Yeah, this is Dale's big chance, I think. You know, he's been out there for a good while. A lot of sentiment. Baseball Network been running stuff, really pushing hard for him. It seems like this is his chance, and I don't have any problem with it.
The odds are as good as they've ever been.
Yeah, I always said that I had to get Fred McGriff in first. McGriff's now in, and then I thought
Dale
Murphy
could be next.
Yeah, guy like Mattingly. I'm not a big. I mean, I know career stats matter, and they should, like Clayton Kershaw getting the 3,000 strikeouts. I mean, that's an enormous number done by few. So I understand that.
So that should matter.
But
you're more interested in them being one of the 5 best players.
Were they during the era that they were good? And it needs to be. It can't be. Who was the one they called him the Bird? Fidrich.
Not
right.
1 year, a big year doesn't count.
Right.
But if you have a 5, 7, or 10-year run.
He was a 2-time MVP. I think he was second in the league in home runs in the 80s. I want to say behind Schmidt or something like that. The team wasn't all that good at the time. But, he can't control that. That's up to everybody else.
Yeah, well, you would think winning a couple MVPs.
Yeah.
Okay, you're at the top of the game for a while. And usually people win a couple MVPs. Maybe not. Fidrich is a great example. But usually if you have a couple MVPs, you were probably top 5, top 10 in the voting other years.
And then you have, what about, are you an ambassador for the game? I'm a little hesitant on that. Now, certainly Dale Murphy was, and still is for that matter. But a guy like Curt Schilling, who's got these outlandish views that he puts out there, that you're thinking, Curt, man, tone it down a little bit. At least I do. Maybe others may think differently. But it seems like, that's being held against him. And should that really, even though I may think his ideas are crazy, does he not have the right to voice them?
How about someone in that regard? This is a little different, but Barry Bonds was never seen as an ambassador for the game. I mean, he was seen as a grumpy guy that a lot of times his own teammates
Which is why I
didn't
liked him.
and his ex-teammates would leak stories and tell stories about
Well,
his
yeah,
stuff.
I could go back to college.
I know.
I heard stuff. My next-door neighbors, 3 of them were on the team. I was literally there when he was there. And, I think that I think he should be in. I'm a little looser on the steroids than a lot of people are because the situation was that who do we know? How do we really know? Sure, we know these guys, but were they facing guys who were doing it, and is that a wash? And then you always go the fallback with him and Clemens, and probably A-Rod too. They had the stats with or without.
Yep.
But that's part of the story. And then he has to address that, or the plaque has to address that.
Tell the whole story at the hall. What's wrong with that?
I mean, ultimately, it is a museum. It's not heaven.
It's baseball heaven. Who was I just talking to? We were talking, there were some of us, and we were talking about which halls of fame we'd been to, and all of us had been to some of them, but not all of them. I haven't been to Cooperstown, and they were just gushing over Cooperstown.
Well,
you feel it when you go through the door.
Well, I think you feel it when you go in the town.
And I'm like, oh, okay. And I said, yeah, I didn't get that at the Basketball Hall of Fame. And once I got in the Hall of Fame, it was fine. But it's in a mall. It's in a pretty average strip mall. It was the weirdest thing. And once you get in it, it feels good. And there's displays, and it's nice. But it was weird.
Cooperstown is an entire town.
Yeah.
So it's not just the hall, and
Right.
it's all centered around baseball. and pizza and those types. I spent a week there once, and I've been there 3 or 4 times.
Well, they've got the fields there, and they have youth tournaments there, and you get to go to the hall while you're at the youth tournament.
Right. And
They've turned it in. A small town has turned it into an entire industry,
and it works in the summer.
Yeah.
I've been to the 2 Hall of Fames that I want to go to in sports. I've been to, which was the one in Cooperstown and then the Negro one, because my father lived there. And
is that in Kansas City?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I did go through that because he was a big Negro League guy. He didn't grow up in a lot of his neighbors were black people, and so plus it was right down the street and it was affordable, and he told me about seeing guys like Monty Irvin and stuff. So I went after he passed, and it meant something to me a little bit more, a little bit of a spiritual thing there. But the Negro Leagues, obviously they had tons of guys who were really, really good, and I wanted to do that. And then the other the other Hall of Fame that I want to go through, and I have multiple times, is the Rock and Roll.
Spectacular.
If I'm around and if I'm in, where's basketball? Springfield.
Basketball's in Springfield, Massachusetts.
If I'm there, fine.
Yeah.
Football, fine, but I don't really have any overwhelming desire. In fact, I've been
to football, haven't you?
I have not. I've been to the town and I didn't go.
You were in Canton. It's literally off the freeway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I didn't go. I didn't want to pay.
DJ PK.
Hashtag NHL.
The Utah Mammoth are in Anaheim tonight to take on the Ducks at the Honda Center. Puck drop set for 8 o'clock. Coverage on the Zone begins at 7. 12 wins, 12 losses, 3 OT losses. We're still fairly early in the season, but they, after starting off awesome and being in first place in the division, they have sagged. They are no longer in the top 8. They'd miss the playoffs if they started today. Granted, there's a long way to go. This will be like game 28. So there's a long way to go. But this has been a bad stretch, a bad November, currently on a 4-game losing streak, and embarrassed in San Jose, giving up 6 goals in the first 2 periods in the most recent game. Daniil Boot's been called up, so got a new guy to work in, see how they juggle the lines and the defense pairings and how they shake things up here. Played both goalies in the last game. What can they do to turn this around? 8 o'clock tonight on the Zone. What is trending? Brought to you by Shamrock Plumbing. There's no job too big or too small. Get the personal touch with Shamrock Plumbing. Coming up, Riley Jensen will join us at 8 o'clock. Fox Sports, play-by-play broadcaster Tim Brando at 9. It's a Win Tickets Wednesday. We'll be giving away tickets to Aerofest with Styx in Chicago, the Utah First Credit Union Amphitheater at the end of August. August 30th is the date for that. We'll do that coming up in the 8 o'clock hour. The question of the day is next. Stay with us.
Since the game went final in Lubbock, touchdown, Parker Kingston! The Cougars have wanted a rematch with the Red Raiders. Now they've got it, with a guaranteed spot in the college football playoff on the line. Listen all week long for the best coverage of BYU in the Big 12 title game, with exclusive interviews and analysis you won't get anywhere else. Then, on Saturday, catch a special Big 12 title game edition of College Football Game Day beginning at 8 a.m. with a post-game show immediately following the game. Exclusive Big 12 title game coverage on the Zone is presented by JCW's, the Burger Boys, quality and a lot of it. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Join Hans and Scotty noon to 3 today at Tim Dolly Nissan Southtown, 11155 South Jordan Gateway in South Jordan. Tim Dolly, home of the Forever Warranty.
That's a long time, man, and Kalani Sitake will be coaching at BYU longer than that warranty.
How long you got Kalani down for now?
30, 40.
Okay. Maybe 50 years.
Not 50.
Not 50.
No.
Kalani pushing 90.
Still hugging media members.
There it is.
Man, you had a long embrace. I thought, my gosh, are you going to let him go?
No, I was recounting something with him. It was a moment we shared a long time ago.
Jeez, I know, but ear to ear?
Didn't want to.
I couldn't pry you two apart.
You could have. You're very strong. I mean, it's bench day like every other day.
Yeah, but I mean, those are
leg day, bench day.
You are
leg
two
day,
thick
bench
guys.
day. Leg day, bench day.
You know?
Kalani staying How happy are you, BYU fans?
Happy days are here again. The sky is blue.
Basically, that's what Kerry says. So happy! 3 exclamation points. Kalani is our guy! Exclamation point. Rick gave it a so happy with 6 O's and 3 P's.
Happy, happy day. Kalani's
Lane
here to
is
stay.
elated.
He's elated.
Todd sees it as a group deal. Hey, as long as Jay Hill stays, I'll be stoked.
Well, you have to allow all assistants the opportunity to move on if a head coaching job comes their way or an opportunity that they deem is better. That's fairly common in the business.
Mike says, I love Kalani Sitake, but perhaps the best part of keeping him is the promises regarding funding for the program. Retaining Sitake wasn't about paying Sitake more money.
Okay.
Well,
I'm glad he has the inside information.
It's partially about paying Sitake more money. But yes, more support
What the heck
for
did
the
I go
rest of the
down there
program.
for and try to talk to a bunch of people off to the side for if I could have just read that post?
That's actually an excellent thought. Why did you just stay home, stay warm?
Yeah.
Quit driving around sleet-covered freeways. What are you doing?
As soon as that thing was over, I immediately went up to multiple people. Okay, give me the scoop.
Would you like to repeat anything you were told in those moments?
That the staff, several of them, absolutely thought they were gone.
It was that close.
And
The offer was that good, and it was taken that seriously.
Yeah. And another one said it came right down to the buzzer. So combined with staff members telling me we thought we were going, and then somebody else saying it came right down to the buzzer. Okay, that's just, I'm passing along information, but that gives you an indication for our listeners that, yes, it was right there to be had, and BYU did what it did. They needed to do what they did, or he would have been gone. I think it would have been reluctant, but if you go back and listen, and he says, I'm a competitor, what he's saying is, I want to win at the highest level, and BYU needed to step up for me to see I can do it here. And once that became apparent, I said, okay, because this was my preference to stay, but they had to meet the criteria that needed to be met. And in Kalani's eyes, they did, which is all that matters. And so away we go. So I think this is a good day for, we talk to fans. Fans are the guys and ladies who have paid my salary. And I am very indebted to them, the ones who are literally listening right now. And for them, this is great news because they're the fans. I'm just a fan myself. I never played that. I never went hat on hat. And my fingernails have never had dirt.
Except for your freshman year at Thunderbird High.
Right, but I sat the bench because I never put hat on hat. Okay. And I only did that because I literally did not know a soul.
Didn't know anybody.
And I was
2,500
miles away from my comfort zone. And so I had no one desire to do it,
right.
But I knew I needed to get some friends.
And you were too small to do it.
And yeah, and that helped me meet some guys.
Who like sports.
Right.
Had something in common with them.
Right. I also played freshman basketball and freshman baseball. And if I could have played freshman tennis, I would have. I'm nothing but a fan, and a fan who has access. And I speak to the fans, and they should be ecstatic over this. That A, he's staying, although I might even say B, he's staying. I may say A, that they have made a major investment to get this program to compete at a level that has changed so drastically in the last 3-4 years. And you need to do this, and they're doing it. And I think it's great. BYU talks about always, we want to win at the highest level. We want to do it the BYU way. And I get that. I get the guys like Bron Santiago, who have a position of authority, but yet still report to authority, need to please and appease the authority by saying the BYU way. Even though that BYU way is not the way it used to be. I mean, just look at the complexions of the team and how many LDS kids are on the team, how many are not. There's always going to be, particularly in football. They're fortunate in football that they can have a fair amount of LDS guys because the Polynesians, there's not a lot of great Polynesian basketball players. Let's just call it like it is, right? But there's
hard to argue that with
tons
PK.
of
Yeah.
Polynesian football players, and a lot of them are LDS, so they can still have a significant LDS influence on the football team. Basketball, if you want to win at the highest level, not so much. And that's what we have right here with this complexion of the team. I'm not saying it's wrong or bad. I don't give a crap what they do, but that's the reality of it. So they have to win the BYU way, and then you have to get these kids that are not LDS to understand the BYU way and at least say, yeah, okay, I'm okay with it, and then fine, you're more than welcome here, especially if you're a really good player. And away they go. So they have to say the BYU way. Aside from that, and that's not anything to ignore, you need to have great athletes. We were having that discussion yesterday with Alex and JJ with Lane Kiffin. Sure, it's going to hurt, but I'd rather have the players there than Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin was a bum at 2 other places. Now, all of a sudden, he's a genius.
And Lane Kiffin, I think it's pretty easy to argue, is leaving Ole Miss and going to LSU because he thinks he can get even better players at LSU than he can get at Ole Miss. And he's gotten pretty good players at Ole Miss, and he's ridden the players to where he is. But he's thinking, I want to win more.
And that's where that's the very reason why Kalani was entertaining the offers and the packages from Penn State, because as he said, I'm a competitor, which means I want to win at as high as I possibly can go. And BYU said, well, what can we do? And he talked about it, communication. You can go listen to it. We had this communication, and basically they appeased him. And then he came to the point where, and I just got too much history here, and they're doing all these things, so I'm going to stay. And that's great news. That's great. It's double great news for the BYU fans.
It's not just that he's staying. It's that the program's going to be funded in a way he thinks the program needs to be funded.
Exactly.
To compete at the level they want to compete at, that he knows he's going to be held accountable for competing at.
Yes, precisely. Yeah, that's an excellent point, that he is going to be held accountable for that. So you want to be able to have that funded. Yeah. And those guys know.
He'll be Mike Tomlin if they're out there going 7-5, 5-7.
The coaches know more than I know. All I can go by is what they tell me. And when I hear somebody tell me, hey, Texas Tech's defensive line, you add those guys together, what they're getting, it equals almost our entire team. Well, what the heck are you supposed to do with that? That's the reality of the situation.
I know what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to get beat. In some cases, you might get beat twice. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen in Arlington on Saturday, but we got an idea. That D-line's still going to be awesome. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then they'll tweak things. I'm sure they've studied the Sun Devils because that's the only team that's beaten Tech this year. And they've clearly, Chase Roberts talked about it, they've gone back and looked at the game film and the mistakes they made because they're going to have to bring their A game, obviously.
Right. I've been in intense conversations as a Sun Devil with Aaron Roderick and Fesi Sitake.
Nice.
Harvey Unga.
Here it is.
Yeah.
Here's some plays, guys.
Yeah. I watched the game.
I know you did. Hey, this worked. And they're like,
actually, I only watched the first half. Because then we had to go. It preceded the BYU-Utah game, so we did a big pregame that I had to be down in Provo that I was at. And I didn't have my computer, and right in front of me were Alex and Jake Scott. They were watching, so they were telling me. But then I went back and saw it and all that stuff. But yeah, I mean that's common. How did one team do it? Well, yeah, they had Levitt and Jordan Tyson able to do their thing, and away they go. And good for them. And can you recreate that? It's not out of the question, but it's going to be difficult because that's a well-paid, well-coached, well-stocked, talent-wise team. They got what they paid for, and good on them. I'm not. That sounds like snarky jealousy. No, good on them, man. No one's saying they did anything that you're not supposed to do. That's the way of the world now.
And if you don't do it, then you'll end up 8-4 or 4-8.
Yeah. Am I going to criticize the Dodgers?
I am.
No.
Losers, $1 billion. You just bought it. You bought it.
Great. Good for them. And they needed Miguel Rojas to come through and be the best role player, making the biggest biggest plays they've ever had.
They really did. They were just flying. They were sleepwalking through the regular season.
Yeah.
We just need 90 to get in. Then they were flying through the National League playoffs and then the World Series. Everybody.
Right down to the end.
Hey, you.
They literally won by an inch.
What's your name? I don't know, but
They won by an inch with Paez making the play in the outfield. They won by an inch with Rojas throwing the runner out at the plate.
they won by an inch with the ball sticking under the wall.
And
had
then,
nothing to do
and
with
then that other one when Hernandez catches the ball on the dead run in left field and throws a hopper that Rojas it knocks him down, and he still manages to keep his foot on the base to get the final out.
Yep.
You paid for whomever, the best second baseman in the world, Joe Morgan or whomever you think was the Honus Wagner, or whoever the best Ryan Sandberg, whomever you think was the best all-time second baseman. I don't know if he makes those plays.
famous people named Honus. Go.
That's all I know.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
If he played today and got a big contract coming out of college, he would have been a Honus baby.
Nice. Bonus Honus.
People, where can you? I can give you information, and then I lay upon you a Honus baby. Where else can you get that?
Only one place. The mold has been broken.
Yeah.
Of all the feedback we got this morning, how about this one?
What?
Joseph, not a BYU fan, but I think he's the perfect fit for BYU. And I can't blame him for using the situation as leverage to improve his situation and the assistants around him.
And the program. And he's a steward of the program, too. That's another thing, man. This man really cares about the program. And he is one of the most, if not the most loving coach I've ever been around in terms of loving his fellow man, following the example of Jesus. And they talk about that, and it means something to them. And I don't make light of it whatsoever. But this man truly loves his fellow man and fellow woman. That is just on display all the time.
And I think the best place for it to be on display for people who don't have access to him and don't get to interact and don't get to see that and hear that in tone of his voice, listen to all the different broadcasters and the way they talk about him. And then listen to all the players and the way they talk about him. Like, he's having a lot of those interactions with a lot of people that you hear from, and you keep hearing that over and over.
Yeah. That's sort of a little bit of a drive-by thing. It's important. I go more on the people who see him all the time. Like, I mean, I covered him as a player. That's how freaking old I am.
I know.
I am
I'm with
76 years old.
Fullback.
And
You're not 76 years old.
But I was the beat writer his last year. Well, I'm not. I turned 76 here shortly. So you're right.
Just making stuff up.
And I was there, and you saw it in him then. And as he's gone all these different places, there must have been at least, 50 people in that room. He literally hugged every one of them. Literally every single person there. He didn't go right to hatback billionaire. He didn't go right to crumble dude, the dudes with the big money.
To our right, where there were a lot of we were sitting in front of the podium, and then there were people standing on both sides and at the back of the room. And he was over to our right, and he started in the back of the room, and he literally went right down the line, each and every person.
Yeah, I thought we were going to run out of time because I thought your hug was just too long.
Oh, I thought it was just right.
No, it needed to be at least a minute and a half shorter.
Yeah, here's the thing.
Thought it was.
Yeah.
It lingered.
Right. It's like, break it
long?
up.
It lingered too long.
I was almost going to say get a room.
Oh, dude. Why you got to be like that?
Let him go. He's got other people
He's
to
got
hug.
film to watch.
Two things. Number one, is recalling a moment that we had shared years, if not decades earlier, because
that you brought up. Couldn't you just said, hey, congratulations, and boom, did you have to talk his head off?
He had something to add about that. So,
right, because he felt awkward. The guy's not letting me go. He's telling me a long-winded story that's 25 years old.
This is all probably true.
Yeah. He's like, but I got this rep. I can't say, hey, Shut up. I got to go because I just built up. He was crying. Everybody was emotional in the room.
No. I waited till he pulled it together. He wasn't sobbing.
No, not at that time. No. I'm talking about prior. He obviously got choked up.
Oh, he got choked up.
This means a lot to him.
He seriously got choked up probably 3 times actually during that. There were some long pauses in there while he gathered himself.
If I'm a BYU fan, I feel great about having him as my coach because it means as much to him as it does to me if I were a BYU fan. And we know fans and what it means to them.
Well, you always talk about maybe it's time for School X. You said it about many schools. Maybe it's time for School X to hire one of their guys. There's been a bunch of people going through there every 3 or 4 years or less, and they put on the hat and they say it's a great day to be a fill-in-blank nickname here. And woo! And yet they're going to get an offer and be out the door in 2, 3, 4 years, or they're going to fire in 2, 3, 4 years. And he played there. He's got a 20, I can't even do the math now. What is that? Almost a 30-year history, actually, with the school. And it gets to be that big a chunk of your life, of course it's going to mean something.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, absolutely, man. There's just no question about it. And he's so authentic. You see, I talk about Jim Moore and his wife.
That was the latest example. It's a great day to be a Ram.
Yeah.
Okay. Come on, man.
3 weeks ago.
I know. Yeah.
Or maybe they fired Norvell a little earlier, so maybe he had conversations, but a year ago, whatever. And if you have young children, they paint their faces. And that's the great thing. Kalani references his wife and his kids, but you ever seen him around?
Yes.
Not much.
Nope.
They're not. Were they even there? Were they in that room?
I did not see them in the room.
Right.
I saw his one daughter. I did not see his wife.
Well, his one daughter works there.
Yes, and she was there.
Okay, so she's an employee.
Yeah, but
like, it's him. Mm-hmm. It's legitimate. It's not phony. It's not in the moment. They didn't have to have his young children paint their faces with the BYU Cougar logo and all that nonsense. You're a hired hand, and that's fine.
Yep.
I mean, it's not like I grew up thinking, oh, my gosh, my life would be complete if I worked for KSL. I mean, I didn't even know about KSL until I moved to Utah, right? And here I am as an employee, and I'm grateful for it. But you get the point. And here, this is something that means so much to him, and it means so much to the fans. That's the thing I always used to say about when we'd go down to Pac-12 media interview days, and I'd see Todd Graham, and I'd see Herm Edwards. To taste me, it makes me sick to say his name. It's like, you're not a Sun Devil. I'm a Sun Devil. You're not a Sun Devil. Don't give me this crap. I didn't buy it.
And this isn't going to work either.
Well,
next.
Yeah, probably did. Well, Graham had a little decent run.
Yeah.
Herm could have had, but they got astray. But Dillingham, I feel like I'm talking to a peer.
Case, never in question. Sitake used the opportunity to leverage greater funds. He's no dummy.
Yeah, but see, then I've got guys on the staff telling me I thought we were gone. So maybe to you it was never in question, but to guys on his staff that were going to go, they thought they were gone.
Contacting realtors.
And how about this? How about it if it had been Bronco?
If what had been Bronco?
He gets the offer from Penn State. Does he go?
Ooh. The second mountain. Maybe the third mountain for Bronco.
You never know.
You'll never know. Maybe we'll find out.
But what we do know
somebody.
is one of your own
is staying put.
I want to be here.
Yeah. And the fact is it's gone really well the last 2 years, and so people feel great. And I do wonder, you get 3-4 years down the road, if it isn't going great, all the he referenced the love bomb and all the people who reached out to him in different ways, the people he didn't even know. But in 3 or 4 years, there's a time Mike Tomlin.
You got to win.
Yeah, there it is. Mike Tomlin was beloved in Pittsburgh, and now he's here in Booze.
Okay, but that's not. I don't think it was just 3 and 4 years after a Super Bowl.
No,
it was.
It's taken some time to get to this,
and they don't have a quarterback.
That is the single biggest problem.
After Roethlisberger retired, they've been. Who's next?
When we come back, breaking news in the Big 12. Yak just telling us about it right now. We will get to that next. Stay with us.
You've been listening to The Zone for decades. Yes! But now you can watch the guys break down your favorite teams.
Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Catch the video stream of DJ and PK, Jake and Ben, Hanson, Scotty, and JJ and Alex right now at KSLSports.com or by searching KSL Sports on YouTube. Utah's best sports radio is on air, online, and on the KSL Sports app. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
The band of the day, Ozzy Osbourne. How old would Ozzy have been today?
Born in 1948.
That's a lot of math. I don't know about that. So probably
77.
77. You're right. See, that's why I shouldn't do math. 77. Ozzy Osbourne all day long. All right, Big 12 breaking news.
Crazy.
Ozzy Osbourne and the band of the day, brought to you by Live Nation. For all of the live concerts and events in 2025, check out livenation.com.
We got to get that printer fixed.
The Big 12 breaking news. Kansas State head coach Chris Klieman is set to announce his retirement this week, and Texas A&M offensive coordinator and former Wildcat quarterback and offensive coordinator Collin Klein is lined up to replace him. They are getting one of their own at K-State, PK.
They go to Klieman to Klein. I remember him as a quarterback over there, for sure.
7 good years for Klieman.
Well, that's kind of crazy because he's only 58. He turned 58
he's on the young
2
side.
months ago, 3 months ago. And they underachieved this year. I don't think there's any question about that. 6-6.
Coming off 9-4, 9-4, and 10-4 in a Sugar Bowl 3 years ago.
Yeah. I wonder what's going on there. Did they want to change? I mean, that would stink if you had one 6-6 season.
Then you got forced out.
Yeah.
If this is what he wants, so be it.
Exactly. Right. And you won 28 games the prior 3 years. That's pretty good.
Yeah. And he'd been there. He's completed 7 seasons, and his only losing year was the bizarro 2020 season when they went 4-6.
That's nonsense.
Everything else, he's 8, 9, 10 wins.
Yeah, I mean, who knows?
Until this year, and they go 6-6.
That COVID, who was available, who wasn't, blah,
yeah,
blah,
who
blah.
knows?
No one should be judged on that season for sure. And then prior to that, obviously at North Dakota State, he was 69-6.
Crushed it.
And they've always had a good program. I think Craig Bowl, he succeeded. Craig Bowl hired him and all that stuff. The Wyoming guy who retired was a little older. But yeah, I wonder what's going on there. If there was a little bit of a hand in the back type of thing, or he really wanted to stop.
Coaching carousel in full swing.
I mean, they were here, and we saw that where he's got emotional, and the AD puts his hand on Chris's back. He said basically, you're my guy, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
And now 3 weeks later, he's out the door. Hopefully for him, it's something he wanted to do, and we'll see. Though, at 58.
If he takes a job in 2 weeks, then we'll know. We've seen it. We've been told before that other people have retired, and then you say, "Oh, what are you going to do in retirement?" "I'm going to get a job. I need a job." "Oh, okay. Well, you didn't retire."
Yeah,
It's hand in the back time.
right. So
Out
we'll
the
have
door
to
you
see.
go.
But they obviously must have had something in the works. You saying they already named the successor?
Yep. Pulling in a former K-State quarterback and a former K-State offensive coordinator. So,
Right.
Collin Klein, step right up. He's 36 years old.
Mm-hmm.
But you do wonder, okay, is he the hot OC and he was about to get a job and then they wouldn't be able to get him and they wanted to bring him home? So, I mean, we've seen that story before too.
Oh, you mean like with Scally?
Don't know which of those stories is true and is being repeated here.
Because if I'm Penn State, I give Scally a call.
Give him a ring. What do you think? All right, DJ PK, it's 97.5, The Zone. Coming up next, Riley Jensen will join us. And coming up, 9 o'clock, Tim Brando, Fox Sports play-by-play broadcaster. We will talk college football players with him, and we'll do that with Riley next. Stay with us.